This is Real News Media TV, coverage you can trust. Please like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Select all for daily news updates. Good evening, my Real News Media TV family. Welcome back to the channel for another news update for October 16, 2023. And in the news this evening, lifeguard and waiter charged with a shooting with intent in St. Anne. A 27-year-old lifeguard and a 26-year-old waiter are facing multiple charges, including shooting with intent after allegedly attacking a man while he traveled home on September 30. According to reports from the St. Anne police, Paul Barnett, otherwise called Reptile, and Marcus Sims, both of Miami Bay addresses, launched an attack on the unidentified man, causing an injury to the head. It is reported that one of the men used his firearm to hit the victim before opening fire at him. He managed to escape his attackers and filed a report. During a specialized operation in the parish on Saturday, October 14, Barnett and the Sims were apprehended. They have been charged with shooting with intent, possession of a prohibited weapon, and unauthorized possession of ammunition. Their court dates are being finalized. Bus and taxi fares. Amid concerns that commuters are being overcharged by unscrupulous transport operators under the new fare structure, the Transport Authority will be seeking to inform the public about the increase. The Transport Authority says a major public education campaign is to be launched this week to ensure commuters are not being overcharged. Commuters began paying more in bus fares Sunday after the government granted a 19% increase in the first instance to bus and taxi operators. Ralston Smith, managing director of the Transport Authority, admitted that the commuters are already being overcharged by unruly transport operators. He said the authority has been conducting a number of covert operations to identify and prosecute violators, especially in the Kingston Metropolitan Transport Region. Mr. Smith, who was speaking with the news on Sunday afternoon, also admitted that there is some amount of confusion over the fares being charged by route taxis and operators of hackney carriages. Mr. Smith said commuters should monitor the media this week for information relating to the new fare structure. Attorney agrees with a proposal to stagger statutory declarations. Attorney at law Kenyatta Powell is in agreement with a suggestion that there be a staggering of the intervals for the filing of statutory declarations by certain groups with the Integrity Commission. The suggestion came from Chairman of the Integrity Commission Oversight Committee of Parliament, Delroy Chuck, during a recent meeting. Mr. Chuck said some categories of workers, such as police officers, could file every 2 years, which would reduce the backlog of statutory declarations. Mr. Powell described it as a practical solution for the anti-corruption body to quickly and effectively do its work. At the same time, he believes that there needs to be an assessment of the resources allocated to the Integrity Commission to determine whether more is needed. My solution would be to further build out the capacity in terms of resources, in terms of personnel at the Integrity Commission. So one way that you could do it, one way that you could speed up the pace of investigation is to look and to see if part of the problem might not be that the Integrity Commission is either understaffed or under-resourced in other ways, and then you address that, he suggested. At present, about 50,000 public servants are required to file statutory declarations with the Commission. Craig Beresford, Director of Information and Complaints at the Integrity Commission, has said the agency will be seeking to reduce the number of people required to file declarations. Mr. Beresford proposed moving the filing threshold to $12 million. Stand up against the crime in Jamaica, Prime Minister urges. Prime Minister Andrew Holness has called for Jamaicans to stand up against the scourge of crime and violence affecting the country. Mr. Holness said his administration will not relent in implementing measures to combat crime. He said the government will continue to invest in the capability of the police to investigate and find those involved in criminal activities.
What we have invested in, whilst we have used policies like states of public emergency, we have also invested heavily in improving the intelligence gathering of our police force. We have invested heavily in the mobility of the police force. We have invested heavily in the investigative capacity of the police force, and we have invested heavily in improving the human rights recognition of the police force. The JCF of today is not the JCF of 10 years ago. But sometimes it would appear that there are those in the society who are hell-bent on supporting the criminals rather than supporting the victims. Sometimes it would appear that there are those, possibly for political reasons, who would not want to see the government put in place the measures that could effectively bring the murder and violence situation under control.
Police identify man who reportedly drowned at Blue Lagoon. The St. Catherine man who reportedly drowned while swimming at the Blue Lagoon in Portland on Sunday has been identified as a 23-year-old Roger Murray, a construction worker. Murray, who was reportedly on a trip with friends from St. Catherine, got into difficulties while swimming shortly after 1 p.m. According to the police, the man failed to adhere to safety rules and regulations, including the wearing of a life jacket, among other things, before entering the water. Murray had reportedly urged his friends to swim across the lagoon, which is approximately 200 meters wide. The police said that while attempting to swim, Murray got into difficulties. His friends, who were said to be some distance ahead, were reportedly not aware of what was taking place until some time after. Divers from the Alligator Head Foundation helped to locate Murray's body. Culture and Entertainment Minister Oliver Grange has said the death was regrettable. This unfortunate occurrence amplifies the need for all users of the facility to comply with the regulations, which are primarily for their own safety. I extend my sympathy to the family, relatives, and friends of the young man, she said. Flo sues government and the China Harbor Engineering Company over infrastructure damage from road project. One of the island's major telecommunication firms, Cable and Wireless Jamaica, known as Flo Jamaica, is suing the government and the China Harbor Engineering Company to recover millions for damage allegedly done to its infrastructure during the implementation of the major infrastructure development program along several roadways in Kingston. The company is also seeking to recover monies that were rebated to customers when the system was down as a result of the infrastructural damage. The multi-million-dollar program funded by the government and the China Exim Bank, which started in 2014 and which was completed in 2020, saw improvement work done on 470 kilometers of roads across several parishes and 12 bridges repaired and constructed. However, the telecommunications company is contending that the government and/or its servants or agents, as well as the China Harbor Engineering Company, the main contractor, caused significant damage to its infrastructure along several roadways in the Constant Spring areas on Mandela Highway, in Hagley Park, Barbican Road, Camp Road, and in the 3 Miles area, all in the corporate area. The damage, Cable and Wireless alleges, caused it to incur significant loss and expenses. The claimant, in pursuing legal action, named the National Works Agency as the first defendant, the Attorney General of Jamaica as second, with the engineering company being the third. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Select all for daily news updates.